I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Buzz.
It's the finale. It's the guys. Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome. You know
That's what I say.
Took a titch of a hiatus, and you know what we really wanted to do is just save up all of our good stuff for the finale. This is Top Chef, the after show finale for the finale of the All-Star season. This is a taste of the Gordons. Let's just break it down. Let's just talk about who we are. After 14 weeks of watching Top Chef All-Stars and 100 plus days in quarantine captivity, this is Dave. He has perfected many child-friendly recipes, and he's perfected the art of ordering snacks in bulk, but his best tasting dish is still his perfect scrambled eggs. He is Dave. Thank you.
It's only been 100 days?
No, it's been 108 days. Who's counting?
I mean, this feels, maybe week, maybe two. And this is Anne, and this is going to be a nice segue, actually.
Please.
She spent our entire entertainment budget for the entire week on this very nice, fancy bottle of wine. You may or may not be able to see what the label is.
A Gartztorama.
From the Finger Lakes. For those of you who are watching from upstate New York, you'll be intimately familiar with the region. Otherwise, you will have never heard of it.
I like the wine because it's made by a doctor. Dr. Constantine Frank. Not only does he have two first names, he's a doctor. The point is, we'll drink it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to go really well with those tasty morsels that we have planned for everyone to discuss in the
Do you
last...
mean our cheese and cracker plate on the plate that we got from Paris when we went on our honeymoon to Paris and Italy?
I thought they were going to be our clever witticisms.
Those are also our tasty morsels.
But we'll see.
Guys, let's just break it down. Since this is our last taste of the season and the last 3 episodes of the show that we're combining into one, we're doing this a little differently. We are obviously, first, we must have a toast to this amazing season. This was an amazing season. Look, you're gonna get a fine meal with an All-Stars cast. You're gonna get a fine meal, but I do think sometimes the winner and the end of the season can leave not as good of a taste in your mouth.
Sure.
We obviously have personal reasons because we have skin in the game because we have a fantasy league, but I do think this season was a win. It worked out exactly as it should, and may the best man or woman win.
We shall see. Cheers.
Cheers, Lovey. You know what people like when they're listening to a podcast? Dead air while the hosts both sip at the same time.
Absolutely.
Delicious.
That makes for great radio.
A little appley.
Yeah, I took one radio class, and that was one of the things that they told me.
I took no classes and got to DJ my entire college career.
As much dead air as possible. Leave the listeners guessing.
Yeah. I wonder if they're alive. So we're going to talk about the top 5 heading to Italy. Thank you, American Airlines. We're going to talk about truffle hunting when one of them should have been functional vertebrae hunting. Then they went to serve some hungry Italian villagers. Then the next episode, they hit a friendly 300-year-old meat cave, which Dave will really want to talk about. And they showed everyone that the women in the show are truly forces to be reckoned with. And then we will get to the main dish, the riveting and tasty season finale of an even tastier All-Star season. So this is Top Chef All-Stars, the final after show. I mean, you could subscribe, but now at this point, I don't know. We'll probably be back. Like, we're going to torture everyone at AfterBuzz and make them give us another show.
Maybe we'll give some behind-the-scene extras if you subscribe.
Oh, that's fun.
Perhaps.
You should subscribe.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And, you can follow us on our Twitter, which is Annabelle Walls. It's my Twitter. He's a Twitter lurker. I'm a Twitter user.
I'm a content consumer.
And I'm a content creator.
Yeah,
and consumer.
as opposed to calling it a lurker, I would say.
Oh, you don't like how I said lurker?
No, I think that the model requires that most people consume.
Consume, yes. I got confused. This is a quickie. Which taste of the episodes, plural, all 3, which dish do these 3 penultimate to finale episodes remind us of and why? We actually share an answer.
We share an answer.
What is it?
It's our honeymoon.
Correct.
It's
about us, guys.
Barf-inducing for those of you who weren't there.
What?
But I would say your reasoning is probably similar, but maybe a little bit different.
What?
Well, as I've opined on this show before, I had a broken foot on our honeymoon in Italy.
Yes.
So what better way to enjoy what was left of your honeymoon than to eat through Italy?
We did.
And that's what we did.
We did not go to Parma, unfortunately.
No.
Really, or Lucca, but we went very close to where they were.
We were in neighboring towns in Tuscany.
Yes.
They're probably a short drive.
Did I mention we got dressed up for you guys?
Have you noticed?
Thank you. This is just what we lounge around in quarantine times.
Normally, yeah.
Italy's a special place. Thank you. Red Sox Sarah, thank you. This is my patent outfit because I am trying to bring it. When you've been wearing yoga pants for 108 days, it's nice to wear. I'm actually wearing it's a dress, guys. but I don't have shoes on. And Dave may or may not have pants on, so we can talk about that later. The point is, we're here to talk about what you guys think too. So please come in, hit us in this chat. We're all up in it. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you think the right person won. Tell us if you think the right person went home or the person who shouldn't have gotten home, like the person who was the lead in our fantasy league who went home in the episode we're about to talk about.
There'll be some sour grapes.
Here we go. So we changed. We used to say this section was when we talk about the quickfire, but no, this is called the preemie. We're going to talk about episodes 1 and 2, episodes 12 and 13. Luca. So there was let's blow through this episode, egregious American Airlines plug. I mean, it's fine. It was egregious. I loved it. Like, they were like sitting in the lounge getting that weird breakfast served to them. And it was clearly like 5 a.m. and they were just like, okay. And then they got on the plane and they were like, so roomy. Oh, another meal. Okay.
Couldn't believe how good the food was at the American Airlines terminal. I mean, come on.
These are the finest palates of our country.
Delta, thank you for all of the sponsorship throughout this podcast and our many others.
Delta, we have your number. So American Airlines and go, because we love you, Delta. That's what we're here to say. But then they get to Mother Fork in Italy, so everything's forgotten and forgiven because it's Italy. Quick medic note: the front runner Gregory threw his back out. Thoughts?
So, if for those of you who know me, this is the time in a season or a fantasy sports league where I announce that I'm quitting forever, and I felt that way.
It was very close
when
guys.
we learned that Gregory had a bad back that he had been concealing probably the entire season.
He wrote a very good long post on his Instagram after explaining what had actually been going on. He was getting crazy cortisone shots into his back. It had been going on for multiple episodes. I think he said it started at a specific time. And he wasn't saying like they downplayed it in the edit. And obviously he has a horse in this race to make it sound like it was bad, but he does explain it pretty well that it was really bad. Like in truffle hunting, like every step was killing him. They went truffle hunting. We're going to talk about that.
He was getting cortisone shots every hour by the end.
That's gnarly.
How can you possibly cook them?
That's why he had to just do the ragu. Yeah, it's rough. But what they did do was go white truffle hunting. Oh, also quick note about Top Chef's dad, Michael. Ooh, sorry, Freudian. Brian Voltaggio. He has been to the finale 3 times. This guy, he can't catch a break, or he's caught 3 breaks, but he can't then.
He's
like grab it.
He's like the Buffalo Bills of Top Chef.
Yes.
They get to the Super Bowl every year and lose.
Do the Buffalo Bills laugh like this?
Some of them do.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Bless him, though. So nice. You want the person who's the innovator to win. Like that to me is Top Chef. You want the innovator to win. It'd be like if people who won Drag Race were cutouts of other people, like just a looks queen or
sure. You
want
to push the envelope in one way or
like
the other.
Sasha Velour wins, Evie Oddly wins because they're like drag plus. So you want the chef to be chef plus.
Sure, based
he's
on
chef. He's a great chef.
Right. Daddington Voltaggio.
Yeah,
I suppose he, by definition, almost can't win the show.
Quick other
At
note.
least based on that criteria.
But they faked us out for a little. There was a moment. There was definitely a moment where I was like, "Oh my God, Brian Voltaggio is going to win, and then I will quit, but it'll be over." Quick side note. Did you guys know that Padma is fluent in Italian?
Pleasant surprise. It helped to humanize her.
Is there anything she can't do? This is just mostly FOMO from me now. So here's the deal. They go white truffle hunting. This was a big deal for us because aforementioned broken foot guy had booked us at truffle hunting times. We did not go.
No,
so this was like truffle hunting.
We had a pivot
at home.
We had a pivot to pizza making and gelato making.
That was
which was fun.
That was awesome.
But
it was really good.
Yeah.
We drank a lot of wine. The point is they go truffle hunting and then they make dishes with truffles. And some of them ignore the truffles and just put them on top. Some of them macerate potatoes and do weird cruise shipy things with them. Some of them do their deal and make white truffle congee, which is congee, which is Melissa making a Asian inspired dish with an Italian twist. Boom.
That will prove to be an ongoing running theme and a winning.
And Voltaggio was second place. We should talk about who else was there. Obviously, Keven, 12-dish country captain, took it all the way to the continent. Keven and Stephanie, America's dark horse, who is
America's
by far
darling underdog,
the most hilarious human, the most hilarious, talking head the show's ever seen.
Certainly for a top talking head, she's outstanding. I would argue maybe not a darling so much as just And
she's a darling.
Yeah, I guess, sure.
I'm not saying she is darling. I'm saying she's a darling that like she's like
her personality just shines.
She of everyone didn't expect to get this far.
Totally.
So like delightful to watch. And she's never been to Italy and she's a chef. Like this is great.
Very important.
Here's an overnote / thought that I post to everyone. Did you feel like it was interesting that the season finale of Top Chef has never been in Italy, which seems weird. But as we started watching these 3 episodes, I started thinking, I kind of get why. Because and we talked about this, I think Italy, in its own way, overshadows their food. Because who's going to be in Italy and not cook Italian? No one.
Sure.
So I think that it actually puts like a sheen on the food that even in Macau, where they were like, let's get Asian flavors in there. And the other finales have been in places such as, tell me audience, I don't remember, Vegas, like other places where it didn't really matter as much, Hawaii, but like then they cook their food. Here, I feel like they all thought they had to cook Italian. I mean, they literally had to.
In many ways, they had to cook Italian, and you're cooking for the best Italian chefs in the country, and so now all of a sudden there's a whole separate set of criteria that you have to cook for. But again, that goes back to Melissa, and it's okay that we're spoiling things because you've all seen the show.
It's been weeks now. Thanks for joining us.
She came up with a novel approach to that, where she introduced a lot of, Italian flavors, techniques, recipes.
She played it perfect.
Modify them.
Can I put this in my mouth?
I think so.
Go on.
Is that on a scale of like 1 to 5 for our viewers out there? How annoying is the crunch? If it's like a 2 or 3, then I'll get in there too.
Guys, we're parents. Like this is like we don't get to eat. Yeah.
But it is
I was
very
curious
hard.
what the viewers thought about that. Like, did they feel that Italy slightly overshadowed, or, in I'm sure a tasty way, sort of colored the finale in a way where, I'm just curious what they all would have cooked with no influence.
Sure.
For the meal of their lives.
All of these chefs are cooking Italian food, and all of the judges and all the contestants are coming in trying to make their own pasta. Mm-hmm. So it's not as if you are just a great chef who happens to have a specialty, but you're eating all different types of cuisine and judging them. Now you're judging them against your own version of what Italian food should be.
What?
With the exception of this.
I was going to say, related to that, Italians have a lot to say.
Sure do.
About food.
Very strong opinions.
So that was like the other side of the coin, not even related, still coin, bigger now, that the way they got judged in a finale was different and highly aggressive in a lot of ways, which we'll get to in the next episode.
The stereotypes are that the French are the ones that are a little bit too salty, and Italians are,
Italians have taken the reins on this, I think.
But
no control over their country's finances, but lots of opinions about food.
Very, very strong opinions, and had some very harsh things to say about some of the food that they ate.
I think this is the place I should let everyone know that when we were in Italy, someone asked Dave if he was from Italy. Was that France?
No, that was Italy.
Yeah, it was Italy.
Yeah.
You were saying something in Italian, and
I was doing my Italian accent, which I'll spare all of you.
He got asked legit if he was from there, and that's very special.
Yeah, I'm still on
or is this what they do to tourists and word dum-dums? Probably that too.
I'd say it's 50-50.
Well, okay.
Go either way on that one.
Here's the deal. I'm just going to shorthand the rest of this episode. Gregory went home. Sucked. What we know, exactly what we were just talking about, his back hurt so bad, he was like, I'm doing wild boar ragu. I already planned Italy episode 1, wild boar ragu. Truffles, sure, I'll put them on top. That's a nightmare.
Look.
How would it taste?
When you have a bad back or like a bad rib injury or something like that, even just moving is very difficult. Now think about this. If you have to just the way in which you're shaving,
the flight exacerbated it too.
Shaving the truffles becomes very painful.
Yeah.
And so he couldn't even get through that. And in rewatching, you could see the grimace on his face as he was shaving those truffles.
I mean, he was in pain constantly. Yeah. Did he need to go home? Was anyone else's worse?
If I remember correctly, they
were just the most offended about his total slam of the truffles. Melissa won with her truffle congee, salami, which she was instructed to never use again, fried garlic, parsley, quail egg, and white truffle butter. Probably delicious.
Yeah, it sounded
Even
delicious.
The chef who won got spanked for using something the wrong way by an Italian chef.
Yeah, and I thought that the idea of maybe they just didn't like the way the salami went. She didn't cook up the salami in a way that would be frowned upon normally. Like, sure, you normally eat prosciutto.
I was confused by it getting heated, but I don't really know.
Raw, but it's not uncommon at all to like cook it in a pasta dish.
Let's go to the
It's
next
fairly
episode,
common.
shall we? The chefs go to Parma.
Yeah.
What is from Parma?
Things that have Parma in the name. So
Such as?
Parmesan
And
and prosciutto.
de Parma.
De Parma.
Yum.
So it'd be prosciutto of Parma.
You love it. I love Parmesan. We got to go there. This was a sell from a tourism angle. We're there. So what happened there? Well, they went Evan Funke. I want to say Tobias Funke. Of Felix, which is a LA restaurant that has literally the most amazing pasta ever. And Dave and I still have not gone together. I was blessed, #blessed, to go with my friend Jason. It is amazing. This guy knows his pasta.
If any of you have ever
He's a
heard of
weirdo.
Quibi, which was a platform that tried to launch during pandemic,
Shade.
he has a show about learning the art of pasta. It's probably the only thing that we've been able to watch a full episode of, but I digress. It's excellent and interesting. He's a little bit maybe too intense about his passion for pasta in the way that it sort of manifests itself, but he's great all the same.
He was very serious about his just everything, his tasting, everything that he wanted to say about pasta in a very kind of quiet creepers way. Let's talk about the meat cave.
Totally.
What goes on here?
And we're going to be doing a side episode about the meat cave.
We're actually starting a side podcast called Meat Caves of the World.
Yeah, so this will be.
We're going to go virtually to that. This is the kickoff episode.
Yeah, this is the one that we're going to talk about for the first episode because it's probably the best one in the world. I assumed in my head they might have mentioned that it's the oldest one in the world.
I think they did, and also it looked very creepy down there. And also you got to put your name on things. And Alan Ducasse.
So they just had all the best chefs in the world from 3-star Michelin restaurants around the world all order their charcuterie from this delicious air-dried meat cave, and they have their names of the chefs dangling down, and everything's made to total specifications. And then they ate a delicious meal in the cave with the meat that was hanging there
with the nice old man.
And
Wikipedia doesn't even give a shit about this episode. Wikipedia is like every episode has this much writing. Wikipedia, this episode is like they went to Parma. Melissa won. Keven went home. That's all they were to say.
It's
a bridge episode.
They basically, it's a bridge episode, and
they set up Keven to leave. That was clearly happening.
They did like what a tourist would do in Parma.
Were you surprised that Keven went home instead of Stephanie?
Instead of Stephanie, Stephanie was never in the bottom, I don't believe. Wasn't it between her and Baltaggio?
This was the episode where Melissa and Stephanie were on the top because they killed it.
Yeah, so it was between her and is this the episode where Daddington and Baltaggio got the
We're going to talk about that.
critique, or was that the next episode?
Oh, that was this one.
That was this one, okay.
So here's what happened in the finale. Sorry, the penultimate, the pre-finale. What do you call this? Yeah, the penultimate. I don't know the names of everyone, and I'm sorry, guys. It's been a couple weeks. They had a real who's who of Italian chefs. Amazing. Plus Evan. Basically, honorary Italian at this point, Evan Funke. And the people did the thing where they bring out the dish and they kind of explain it, whatever. And then they they talked to you about it there in front of them. They literally told Brian Baltaggio, you have no soul. Your food has no love. This is a fail. Why do you even try to be a chef? Like, that was basically what they told him. Even and I bet you they, one, softened the edit a bit. And two, that's a choice. Like, they eviscerated him. What chef wants to hear, you have no soul, your food's bad? That was brutal. That was the worst evisceration I've seen.
He cooks with heart and soul. Yeah. He does.
I thought about this a lot, actually.
You think he does it just because his brother does it?
No. I think he really loves it, but I do think he's one of those people that is not self-aware and is not connected to emotion the way that a lot of us are, in a way. Or he's like this, he's like that uber nice suburban dad who doesn't get ruffled or doesn't, his brother's all emotion. His brother is a raw nerve. So he's the opposite.
I think it's just his approach to food is not particularly exciting one.
Yeah.
But I don't think that necessarily means that he's not passionate about it or doesn't cook with love. I think it's just for those chefs, and I would probably agree, he doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not exciting. And so if you want to connect excitement in cooking with passion for cooking, then sure. But I don't think that's an accurate way to depict what his cooking is. It's just a little bit more he paints by numbers and then tries to elevate them.
Yeah.
If he thinks there's a lot of merit in that.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's doing something very interesting.
We go back to not being an innovator, but exactly. Yeah. Lady Di says they broke his heart. They did.
They
But
did.
look,
He was devastated, which shows that
he was devastated. That's true. And maybe that's what he would need going into a finale to really set the stage for him making a comeback. Like maybe they leaned into that as a narrative.
Sure, but they
But then I
already
was
knew
still
what
like,
happened.
please don't win.
Yeah, they would have already known
Yeah.
at that point.
I mean, bless him. He's truly wonderful. It's just we were shocked.
Totally shocked.
Like,
Still surprised by it. Still feel bad for the guy.
Update: Padma's still fluent in Italian. She
Unbelievable.
really she'll talk, I was like, she's gonna get caught at one
How
point.
did she
They're
do
gonna be
that?
like busted. She got the Rosetta Stone. You listen to those CDs.
I know, but grown-ups
10
can't learn
hours
new
a day.
languages like fluent.
I don't know. So anyway, it wasn't even Voltaggio though who got the worst situation in this episode. Our boy Kev.
Well, somehow, even after that evisceration,
Kev didn't use the
Skid
Parmesan correctly.
he always.
So what he did was,
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, it was a truly great moment.
He had 12 dishes. No, I was kidding.
He went around and poured us a heaping spoonful of grated Parmesan cheese on
You know
everyone's
when you
dish,
go to
whether
the
they wanted it
TGI
or
Fridays
not.
and they just are ready?
I was thinking more of the Olive Garden, but totally.
I'm sorry, you're right.
And they think, for the Olive Garden, that's a nice fancy touch.
Yeah.
That's what makes it worth coming back for. But
The Captain's Garden did not fare well.
But they ask. Even the Olive Garden asks. He just shoves his way in there, and he's broad, so he had to shove.
He's like, oh, Red Sox Sarah said, I feel so awful for Brian. He said he hoped it was worded so awfully because of the translation. No, they used soulless in English. They were like, blah, 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 soulless. No more.
Yeah, they asked their translator how to make sure that they can get the word exactly correct.
I mean, actually, if you take all 5 of the chefs who came to the finale, the person who probably would have the hardest time, doing the Italian flair would be Keven.
Totally.
And then Stephanie. And then
no
Brian. No, she makes pasta. You're
yeah,
right.
she made all.
So it'd be Keven, then Brian. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know who would have killed it in the penultimate episode? Our boy Gregory.
He would have been great.
He had all his dishes ready. He still wins. He's gonna win probably Fans' Choice. Did they announce Fans' Choice? You guys, we didn't do our homework. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just look. And what's it called? Yeah, Fans' Choice. So Fans' Choice, or whatever it's called, gets $10,000. And Gregory said if he won, he was going to donate the entire $10,000 to a Black Lives Matter initiative.
So
Melissa got fan favorite too.
Yeah.
Oh, Greggy, where's Sally?
All awards. It's sort of like it's sort of like Billie Eilish at this year's Grammys. She swept all of the awards.
Wow, she got $10,000 and she's donating them to Black Visions Collective, the Trevor Project, Asian Americans for Equality, and the Asian Youth Center to support the LGBTQ and Asian American communities. What? First of all, we're terrible. We didn't vote.
But also, I will say this:
but we will vote in the election. It's important.
Normally, this goes to a big.
It goes to not the winner
personality.
Yeah, Greggy's.
And for all of the many wonderful things we can say about her, she's very quiet and subdued. And
she's cool.
She doesn't make for great television, other than that she's such an amazing chef. And normally, the fan favorite is the person who's the most entertaining. Food
like
aside.
Melissa.
Yeah. So I'm surprised by that.
I will say though, and this is my last chance to brag about how I got to be on this season. In retrospect, I caught Melissa on the camp episode in what was one of her, if not her worst showing of the season. And I did have her salad and it was boring and weird. But vibe-wise, and this is not how people are voting, obviously, but vibe-wise, she's cool. She's a cool cat.
Sure, I don't buy that, but I mean, I don't discredit that, but that she's not. I look for fan favorite. I want fun. I don't think she's fun. She doesn't.
No,
she doesn't
cool.
Breed fun. She's cool more so than fun. Yeah.
But then, yikes. Okay, so now we get to the main event, the secondi in an Italian menu. This is the cook the best progressive meal of your damn lives. 4-course progressive meal for even more of a who's who. They were, I don't even know where they were. They were back in their original place. Not Luca. Were they in Luca?
No, you had it written up at the top there in our notes, I believe.
Did I know?
Yeah, if you scroll up just a bit. Yeah.
No, finito. That's not a place.
Yeah,
that's a word. We can talk about it from the Wikipedia, or one of our 2 amazing listeners.
Yeah, thank you so much. This has been incredibly helpful.
They each got help from a sous chef. What did you think? So Gregory obviously couldn't do it. Do you think he was still laying in a hotel somewhere, or they sent him home?
I mean, it probably costs more to change his flight. They probably just
Oh
let
my
him
God.
lay in the hotel.
So we're in our top 3. It's Stephanie, assisted by Malarkey. She loves him. They make a good team.
Again, you have to keep in mind that when
he's a good sous chef.
Yeah, when you're
And
picking a
he's
sous
peppy
chef,
and you want to be pepped up.
when you're picking a sous chef, you're looking for totally different things in the person. So
it's not a top chef best friend
at this point. Yeah, like Gregory
that is a shout out
probably
to Fabrizio
like
Fabio.
some of these people probably wouldn't be great sous chefs who are because
I don't think Gregory would be a good sous
I
chef
don't
at
think,
all.
No.
So this plays out. Stephanie and Brian Portaggio, assisted by obviously Keven. That must sting a little. Like, that's rough to be the one who just went out, and that always happens. Who comes back
it always
in.
happens, and but they're best buds, at least for show wise. Yeah,
no, they really are. And then Brian, and Lee. What's happening? Oh, this is written wrong.
Yeah, they brought back Leanne in place of Gregory,
which is actually perfectly redemptive because she's the one who's had to leave 2 other seasons.
And now
early.
She got a free trip up to Italy as a result.
From Hawaii, though, that's quite a flight. Melissa was assisted by Leanne. That's pretty good. Like, I can see that, but they had a weird
vibe because
she was too chatty for Melissa,
and
they didn't
want to accept the role. But she had too many ideas.
And Melissa would have had Gregory, obviously.
Yeah, you're cooking the best meal of your life, and you're cooking your dishes. The last thing you want is your sous chef butting in all the time, and that's what Leanne was doing.
Wikipedia is telling me who was the judges.
That being said, cool, calm, collected Melissa, rather than having
just
shut
cool
it down.
Idea.
You're like, you're an idiot, Leanne. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You can have all the ideas you want. I don't care.
Go on, that's away.
Unfortunately, that was my entire thought. So now I'm just going to leave you in the lurches.
Well, we can talk about this.
Yeah. The elimination challenge.
No, the chefs, the judges.
Oh, for those of you who are familiar with the top Italian chefs.
Well, they were from all over. So we had Marcus Samuelson, love him, have eaten in his restaurant. He thought Goldie was cute. That's our daughter. Claire Smith, the very unassuming, literally best chef in the world, from England, guys.
That made no sense. And just vibe-wise, she didn't scream chef, but good for her.
Bless her. Mario Colagreco, Janice Wong, Tony Montaneo, and then we need to really just spend a moment. Dario Cecchini. How do you say this? Guys, help me. I am Italian.
Cecchini.
Embarrassing.
I'll go with
Cecchini. Dario is the meat expert, literally of Italy, definitely of Tuscany. Shout out to my friend Daphne, who got to have him somehow come to her wedding. And he did all the meat cuts.
All the cuts of meat.
He's your dream. He literally loved the food so much. Like, he'd never been on Top Chef before, I don't think. No. Has he?
No, I can't remember.
He cried all over the place. He just loved it so much.
It was beautiful.
He cried. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about in or out. Are we in or out regarding this challenge?
Oh no, I'm out. But we came this far, so what the heck?
I'm very in, as this is the finale. Okay, so now we're gonna get to nom or not. Let's just instead going like all the appetizers. Let's just talk about each chef's. There's only 3, right? Brian Daddington Voltaggio made beets with tonnato, arugula, bonito, and aioli. Yes.
Mostly in.
Yeah. What do you not like?
I love all of the bits, but I'm not a beet guy, as you know. Our listeners
I'm a beet gal. Lasagna with wild boar bolognese. It looked amazing.
I mean, it sounds delicious.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a Top Chef finale dish.
But it was like
more of a
deconstructed
comfort food, but
it looked cool.
But it sounded delicious.
Yeah.
Although wild boar, it sounds it's very strong flavor.
Yeah.
And so I tend to find that I'm intrigued by the idea of wild boar.
And you don't like it.
I eat it, and I tend to find that it's a little bit too strong in flavor for often the way that it's being served.
I don't have a thing to add about this. You know what's great? Mushrooms. Anyway, third course, blackened monkfish with, I don't know what that word is. Caciucchio broth, octopus, calamari, and squid ink focaccia.
Yeah, it's just I'm
not here for black.
Right there. It's
the bread, the squid ink bread. He was going for it. This was him pushing himself. This was him being like, what's like conceptual? And in his head, it was like, what would brother do that's like edgy? Hard pass.
I think that like any sort of like fish broth, fish stew is one of my favorite things.
I'm here for that. I'm not here for the black bread.
All that stuff
that made it look like it was burned bread.
The bread I just thought it looked like a poorly made bread.
Also,
it looked like very.
I think it
looked
changed
like
the
very
consistency
home.
a lot.
It looked like very home baker, And given the times that we're in, we know that everyone's trying to cook bread. We've seen a lot of,
what are you talking about?
Well, I'm not saying.
Our new thing is we're going to make cultured butter. Tell your friends. This is the thing.
Anyway, it's just the bread looked like it was very home baker.
I forgot
that was my critique about it. Not that it was using squid ink.
But do you want to eat like dark black bread?
I don't care.
Looks fine.
As you know, I love a good pumpernickel.
As you know, I burn your toast basically every morning. That sounded very 1950s, but I tend to make the breakfast and not well. What about the fact, and we didn't really talk about this, but let's just throw this in here. Usually in Top Chef seasons, there's a break, and you can tell by the fresh haircuts between the end of the real season and the traveling to the finale. And there wasn't this time. Like they just roll right into it, whether it was a production thing or whether it was a budget thing. It's always a budget thing. But like, or it's probably actually these chef schedules. These are all all-star chefs. They have a ton of shit going on. They're not going to go home for a month and a half and then go back out. I do think that they they had less time to prepare. These people like leave, get the menu, know they're going to Macau, write all their things out. Like Gregory prepared, but I do feel like they were winging it more than normal. For
maybe, but in fairness, like I feel like maybe there's been a couple of twists along the way in the finale, but most of the time it's cook the best meal of your life. It's 4 courses.
Oh, I agree, but they still didn't have like the reset button. They didn't have the downtime.
Yeah, I know, but
they're like burned. They were burned in the middle. They burned episode 9.
Sure.
I thought.
Which we've learned from our very knowledgeable guests that's what happens when you're filming a reality TV show.
Shout out to our guests. We love you and we miss you. So what happens when we do our finale show right before the 4th of July? Okay. So, and then he finished with the malted chocolate mousse, hazelnuts, coffee, cardamom. I'm asleep.
This was snooze fest to me, but yeah,
like, I mean,
bless. The judges,
like
at least, they reacted very, very positively to it.
They were hot on everyone's desserts.
But the one thing about, we're all for like an elevated, fun, like really like
I like dirt soil.
Innovative type of cooking. But usually we are not into those types of things for dessert.
Because mousse is cruise food.
But beyond that, just usually we want like the good comfort desserts.
Oh yeah.
And that's to me, and most, I think to you as well, experimentation. We're better served with experimentation for like the apps and the main courses as opposed to dessert. Usually the dessert's just stray.
You got to bring it home.
Yeah.
You got to bring it home. Like, well, Melissa was a genius, and the way Stephanie did too. That was legit, even though it was like a little bit whatever. Anyway, let's talk about Stephanie first. We're going to end with Melissa, obviously. Stephanie did kataifi wrapped shrimp. I don't know what that is. It looked almost like angel hair pasta wrapped around shrimp, and it looked really hard to do, and then she nailed it.
Yeah, but then she
almost like rice noodles, but it wasn't.
Yeah, and she talks about how it was meant to be. It's just like a very
it's a Middle Eastern dessert made with thin noodle-like pastry. Yeah, semolina dough soaked in sugar.
Well, hers wasn't, but
with tangerine syrup, pickled Calabrian chilies, and spicy arugula. Would eat.
I mean, I would certainly eat it, but to me, like that, I saw that and I said, "This is not. You can't win a Top Chef finale making fried essentially fried shrimp skewers.
Why?
Like it's an elevated version, but it's just
she tends to pub food. She veers to pub.
Yeah,
food.
It's just not interesting or exciting enough. Or
you just have tangerine syrup laying around your life all the time on all your food.
No, but it's still fried shrimp.
Yum.
It's an elevated fried shrimp.
Second course: Taleggio Cappelletti. Yum. Roasted chicken broth, pumpkin, apple, prosciutto, celery. This feels like a quick fire to me.
No, but well, maybe, but it's like I got excited for this dish because we saw her tasting it, and she was just like.
This is what we were talking about today too. You were saying that like she felt good. She was in the zone. She tasted all her food. They don't always taste all their food. Like she was ready.
She was tasting that roasted chicken broth, and she was just like, "Oh, this is great." It like she sold it without even knowing that I wanted to eat that chicken broth because of how amped up she was on it. And the taleggio with the pasta was interesting.
I love a taleggio.
Taleggio's good. It's
I love a
good
casseri
cheese.
too. Very scandalous.
Great cheese.
Why?
It's good. It's it's not funky enough.
Oh.
It's a little bit too tame.
Right. Call it the Colby Jack of Italian cheese.
It's a safe cheese.
What about her third course, which was milk braised veal breast, Parisian? Do you want to give someone in Italy something called Parisian gnocchi? And what does that mean? And lemon rosemary sauce. Here for lemon rosemary. What's Parisian?
I mean, to me, that dish sounds good, but you know what? That sounds like a Daddington dish, actually. That sounds like
Why?
That sounds like a wedding food dish.
Why? Because it's like a
It's not
rosemary
that
and
interesting.
gnocchi for the people. And then also, if I could get the groom and his mom out to the dance floor.
You know, other than using the taleggio.
Yeah. No, that was.
Oh, excuse me. No, there's nothing in there
I don't
that's.
want to talk about milk and veal together. It sounds gross to me.
Well, I don't want to start talking about why it's effective.
Please don't.
So.
Half of our show is sponsored by PETA. Sponsored by the Succession theme song. Quick note about Succession, best show on television, besides this show. Dave's doing an homage to Roman with his long kind of comb-over hair.
For those of you who watch, I hope that you do.
To our fellow Succession heads.
I hope that this haircut is enough to get you watching.
And if you haven't caught up in quarantine, now's the time. Quick plug for the scripted HBO series, Succession. Okay, and then Stephanie's fourth course, her dessert was sticky toffee pudding, very British. She was going for the British chef. She was trying to win her over. I get it. With hazelnuts and yogurt ice cream. British people call yogurt.
It's very off-putting. I love their accent otherwise. Just that one specific word.
I mean, Woody. I'd eat this.
Yeah, it sounds great. I mean,
sticky toffee pudding makes me think of fillings coming out, but.
Maybe no, I like a sticky toffee pudding. It goes back to our conversation as like a down home, like basic, simple dessert.
She's going for comfort.
And at the end of the day, it's like, it's going to taste delicious.
Quick
like what's better than like a cinnamon bun? Like try to make a better dessert than that.
Than a cinnamon.
Yeah, exactly.
You're talking crazy. Nothing, literally nothing. Quick cue. Did you feel like we're talking about Brian and Stephanie? Per what we were just talking about, were their meals Italian enough, or it doesn't matter, or were they Italian shoved into what they were going to make for their meal? Like this is not the meals they would have made if they were in the finales in Ohio.
Sure, no, totally. I think they try to.
Like, do you feel like it was shoehorned in, or was it fine? Did you feel like it was supposed to be more Italian, or no? Again, Marcus is there. Like people are there that are not Italian.
Yeah, I do agree though that I don't know what the thinking process for each judge was or contestant individually, but they did, at least in terms of Brian and Stephanie, they both landed on a more Italian menu than I think they certainly would have otherwise.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was to their detriment or not, because
Stephanie.
I think that they're probably like very well versed and skilled in that type of cuisine,
right.
But I don't. If you're talking about cooking from the heart and showing soul in your food, if this isn't the menu that you would choose, that might not come through totally.
This actually brings me to a point about Stephanie, and we will not beat the dead horse because she is the sweetheart of the show, but definitely what would her meal have been? Like, I don't know her food. I actually couldn't tell you. If you were like, I'm like, Brian does cruise food, but like nice. Melissa does this amazing kind of like Asian fusion. Kevin does down home Southern. What's Stephanie's food? I don't know.
Well, I think we know Melissa's food totally.
We know Melissa's. I'm saying Stephanie's.
Oh, Stephanie? Yeah. Sorry.
What's her food? Like if someone said to you, what is Stephanie's food?
No
what
idea.
Is it?
She's
I've literally never thought about that till just now. Like
it's interesting,
good.
And I've never thought about it too. And
that's not good.
I think she's probably. So this goes to the idea of like
is she pub food?
She's like a great cook.
Executor.
No.
She does amazing, like the Olympics thing, the lemon in the lemon, like all that.
But if she were to open a restaurant, like to your point, what would the concept be? What would the concept be?
Good.
That I don't know the answer.
She killed that Michael's challenge.
Yeah, I mean,
she makes amazing pasta.
She makes very good food, but what is her point of view? What is her, what would her concept be if she was opening a restaurant? I don't know the answer to that.
I don't either. Let's talk about Melissa.
Send us.
Hit us up. Like, what do you think? What is, if you were going to say what Stephanie's food is? Ow. What is it? Oh, my long ponytail. Please. Guys, we're getting to the end. Melissa. She won. Here's what she made. First course. Char siu glazed octopus. Fried shallots, fennel, pickled peppers, herbs. Octopus?
Totally. Octopus is one of the things that like always exceeds my expectations.
It's true.
Like I'm always.
It makes me think now of Married at First Sight, but yes.
Yeah, I'm like, do I really want octopus? I'm not in the mood for it. A lot of times, other people
someone else orders it like at the Tapas restaurant with Jason and Angie, and then you're like, oh, this is delicious. Then you taste it, and you're like,
oh, that's delicious.
Yeah, we don't order it. We don't think about ordering it. Agree. Remember restaurants, guys?
I will say this. I like all of the little sort of touches and details that Melissa puts in her dishes. And they're always things that are very interesting, things I wouldn't think of, and things that I want to try.
Does the winner of every Top Chef season use tweezers? Probably.
Maybe. So but in this case, like the fennel with the pickled peppers and the herbs, like those fried shallots, those are all things I wouldn't think of with octopus.
Yeah.
And I all think that everything is like really smart and intelligent the way that she uses those little pieces to really elevate the dish when you look at these descriptions for these other contestants and, you know, like Stephanie's with the pumpkin, apple, prosciutto, celery,
Right.
that doesn't feel like it's elevating the dish to the next level.
Mm-mm.
But like the shallots,
That's on a
the
menu
fennel,
you'd
the
already
pickled
see.
peppers,
Yeah.
and the herbs does. And so that's what sort of sets her apart, I think.
For her second course, agree. She had squash agnolotti, give it to me. Chicken skin, don't give that to me. Agrodolce cipollinis, Szechuan chili oil, shiso, and squash blossoms. A merging of Italian and
Yeah,
Asian
this was
cuisines.
definitely delicious. So I will say, if you eat with your eyes,
It didn't look as
it
good.
didn't look that appealing.
The colors were all sort of samesies.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably tasted real good though.
But it probably tasted delicious, and that's obviously more important.
Would you like to do the third course?
Third course, grilled squab with persimmon, which
persimmons.
little
She had
little side
never
note,
seen a
she-
persimmon.
I don't know if we misunderstood.
No,
Maybe
it was repeated later again.
She didn't know. I mean, look,
Maybe my grandma was weird and she made a lot of persimmon stuff. And I'm
persimmon
weird,
is
probably.
widely available at the farmer's market, at least our
Also,
farmer's
isn't
market,
it Asia?
but it's disgusting.
Disagree.
It tastes like baby food, and
Tastes like baby foot.
it's terrible. So
If you
it's
make a
possible,
good persimmon thing like Grandma
Yeah.
Walls did,
outside of like our little bubble in LA, maybe it's not widely available, and because
She's
it
from
tastes
LA.
very bad. Well, San Francisco, LA.
no,
yeah,
she's from LA.
it's weird then. Porcini, fermented black bean sauce. Yeah, I mean, I love a grilled squab.
Do you like fermented black bean sauce?
Not necessarily, but you know,
A squab is like a
why
small
open that can of
bird.
worms now?
Because it's in. Squab's gross. It's like a Cornish game hen.
Yeah, it's like
Italian?
just like these little gamier birds. So
But anyway,
you need this strong
she
flavor,
looked like
like
she
the black bean
did this
sauce,
perfectly
because
well, though.
yeah,
Like,
of course
so
she
well.
does. She executes everything perfectly.
Well, we forgot to mention where they faked us out an episode before and her raft broke of her butter melting and we all thought she was going home. And I was like, I will quit. If Gregory goes home and then Melissa goes home, we will quit and we'll never know who won.
But from a fantasy standpoint, that would have just been our saving grace.
Katie Donovan, congratulations. I
You're
mean
welcome.
that.
If and when you're watching.
I'll send this to them and say, get into minute 57. Brianna's going to kill us. Okay. It's our last time, Brianna. That's the producer. Her dessert was Hong Kong milk tea tiramisu. Woody, give it to me.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But
She was being a perfectionist. She
would-
made Leanne start again. She was like, no,
I will say
throw
this.
them in the garbage, start again.
First of
And
all,
that's how you win.
as much as I love Italian food, again,
A lot. You love
there-
Italian food
yeah,
the most.
pretty much one of my very favorite things in the world. Not just food, just among everything in the world. But their desserts, I'm less enthused about. Tiramisu is like a good, solid, fine dessert.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a world in which tiramisu is so much better than the other tiramisus that I've had. So she added a little tea. I can't imagine that it's like
better than the
so-
weird brandy soak situation. I don't know.
Yeah, I just can't imagine that like adding some tea to a tiramisu is going to make it like mind-blowingly amazing.
Right.
I still think that it's going to be like, yeah, it's good. I enjoyed it. It's fine. That's all.
Who do you think of the three finalists had the whiskiest move? Or did they all play it safe?
I think that the producers try to make it seem like Melissa was playing it whiskey.
Because what?
Because she was the only one that was stepping outside of like that Italian, but at the same time, that's what she had to because she
Right,
wouldn't have
that's
been
her
able to adapt. I don't think any of them had. I think the lasagna was the whiskiest move.
Really?
I like saying whiskey.
To whiskey it.
moves.
It made me feel way like quasi.
Just
Why?
because lasagna, to my way of
You
thinking,
mean in terms of time management or actually serving as a secondi?
as if
No, it's
you are
creamy.
cooking the meal of your life,
Yeah.
like I made a lasagna. Like a lasagna is
Huh.
something that like every mom who doesn't cook makes.
Here's
And
the
then
real
you get
question.
every like slice like
Your mom who doesn't cook. So Melissa, she won. You guys all know this. We've discussed. Who do you think is actually second place? From this meal, it's not cumulative. It's not like Brian wins because they're doing he's been on 3 seasons. We should let him in. Like who from this meal gets second place?
at the very least I would say that they try to make it seem as if Stephanie had a chance. And so in
Yeah.
that regard I would say that she came in second place. And I would agree because I think between the lasagna being a very safe choice, even if it's an
Mhm.
elevated version,
Mhm.
the squid ink focaccia,
Yeah.
I think he had more missteps than Stephanie. Stephanie, I feel like had one misstep which we didn't get into.
What?
In
Well,
one
you
of her
were ripping
dishes.
all over the shrimp.
No, yeah, that's true. I don't know.
What's her other
I
mistake?
think it was so clear that Melissa was winning. think it was with regards to her sauce with the veal, but I can't really remember for sure. It was something that she was freaking out about. She had to like readjust.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I think the gnocchi, something happened with gnocchi.
Maybe something in that dish where it was like she had to like really pivot and make big changes to the sauce to try to salvage it.
I feel like we didn't have enough Tom in these 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Literally, he was there.
Thomas
it was very gray
his
and foggy.
wardrobe, I would argue.
Oh yeah, his hats were there.
Yeah, he looked good.
His hats came on the show. Guys, the winner was Melissa. But the real winner of the whole season was us.
All of you as well.
For getting to do the show for you guys.
Yeah. And all of us. It was a great season of Top Chef.
We're sad it's over.
Yeah.
For selfishly, because we like to do the show. And also entertainment-wise, because please give us shows to watch. Still got RuPaul's.
There is no shortage of quality television. So
That's
you'll be
true.
seeing us again.
We will come back. We would love to do another show with you guys, torch you with bringing our friends on and pretending they're experts, but they really are. And yakking to you while we really just rush to put our child to bed and she's literally sleeping behind this wall just so we can talk to you and like pretend like we're talking to grown-ups and live our lives. We appreciate
our
you.
best lives.
Yeah, we appreciate you. From our Gordons to your faces, thank you for being on this crazy ride.
From the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much.
From the cockles of our hearts,
Yeah.
from the wine plugs. We're still waiting for our sponsorship from Fox and Wines. Anytime
We started driving up there and then we found out that they're closed again. So we had to turn right back around.
We want everyone to be safe. We want everyone to live their best lives, but we want everyone to, no matter what is going on, make a tasty experience for yourself.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it. We love you all. Thanks for watching. Sayonara, peace, ciao. And here's our cheese. We're gonna eat it. Should we cheers to cheese?
Yeah, let's cheers to cheese.
Goodbye. Ciao bene.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.